Hello, what follows is a presentation of my proposal for Symposium as part of my Masters in Art and Design Education at Limerick IT. So to set the background for this proposal, as part of the Masters I recently conducted an ethnographic research project involving a case study group of 3 of my third year students of visual communication in Athlone IT. The central aim of the research revolved around an examination of if, when, how, and to what degree research is embedded into the creative design process of these 3 students. As someone for whom research is a fundamental element in the design process, I was very motivated to learn more about the researching activities of my students, and I was optimistic about how it might inform my future teaching practice. Using video, photography, interviews, I gained insights into my students' day-to-day researching activities, their ability to select appropriate research, their researching channels, were they relevant, their ability to editor and filter research, the value they placed on it, the difficulties they had. In short, how they interpreted, analysed and progressed their research, synthesising it to propel themselves forward creatively. As a result, I'm far better informed as to how I can assist student research activity, and I have a better understanding of how to respond to student researching needs, and how I can integrate my activities as a designer, teacher, researcher to assist my students with their own researching requirements. I compiled those research observations, analysis and outcomes into a book that presented my findings and that visualised a modus operandi for each person involved in the case study. Here you're looking at the front cover and a spread on James Colleen. For each student, I attempted to visually capture their individual researching style, along with my own analysis and impressions, so that's here on the right-hand side. On completion of this work, I had a springboard for strategy and innovation in my teaching practice. So I then went on to devise a number of actions for myself to move the research forward towards the creation of curriculum advocacy links and towards the enhancement of socio-cultural relevance and visibility of my design curriculum in Athlone. So 2 particular actions arose out of my research. First came an acknowledgement that there is little available to teachers, students and practitioners in the way of a design resource, a design research resource. And I've become interested in working in an online resource to provide a space for discussion and the exchange of ideas in the area. But secondly, and more immediately, it occurred to me that perhaps more than anything else, I've been motivated to further capture the research actions of students. I feel I've gained a bank of insights from my previous study with the 3 students, so I've initiated an action to move that research forward now by focusing on a new participatory research scenario. This scenario focuses on the construction of meaning and knowledge via collaborative active learning. So, I have devised a collaborative project between my 3rd year design students in visual communication and the 4th year social care students at AIT. Social studies students are given a choice of areas to research, analyse and interpret. Then the social and design students are paired up in a collaborative process where the design students observe the social studies students' research in action. The social studies students present their research and findings to the designers and provide a briefing in their handover to the design students. And then the design students will respond to the research, aiming to clarify findings visually by creating a piece of information design that presents the research findings in an accessible and engaging manner. We take it for granted that research can inform design. One aim of this project is to show the extent to which design can in turn enhance research. It will be a valuable exercise in demonstrating the role of the designer and will hopefully enhance the visibility of the design curriculum across the college by highlighting to those outside of the discipline the value that design can bring to their work by assisting them in understanding and valuing their own research. The research areas include neuroscience and creativity, intelligence and the arts, art facilitation in marginalised groups, identity and art, the arts' role in society, and politics and art. This project will allow me to conduct research on my design students' researching activities that is focused, instructive and collaborative. It will enable me to expand on my existing research providing me with different perspective on design research, moving from the individual into a group working collaboratively across disciplines. It puts researching in a more real-life context for the design students, and the collaborative nature will inform them in a process of shared practice, focusing on understanding, interpreting, and then visually representing the research to bring it to a broader audience. It will involve a mind shift for students in how to approach research and bring a different responsibility, especially with the final display of the work as an exhibition of social research expressed through the medium of information design. The purpose of this is not to turn graphic designers into social scientists or social scientists into graphic designers, but rather to foster collaboration in how we can help each other maximise the benefit out of our work. The image on this slide and the following slide are infographics by Peter Ortoft representing data from an opinion poll of Danish people about their social related concerns. The designer focused on individual concerns in the design of the diagrams, which are effective in helping the viewer understand more layers of information about the data findings. For me, making evidence is not just about collecting data and analysing it, it's about communicating it as well. In this collaborative project, the students will engage in participatory research, where the design students will participate with the social studies students in making evidence, so it's a very natural collaboration in that sense. I'm interested in examining how design students will research within this new scenario. And some of the areas I will investigate include the sources of research the students are using and the effect of the collaboration on expanding those sources, methods of research, and again examining the differences in the methods employed across the student groups, motivating research, observing the spin-off effect between the two student groups, recording research. This was an important aspect in the case study group, and I'm keen to investigate it now in a collaborative context, and reflection on research. Again, in my previous study, this as the creative work evolved, the interpretation of the research also evolved, and I'm interested in investigating the differences between the individual and group experiences here. I'm keen to observe the combined research elements that may emerge as part of this scenario, the multidisciplinary attitude that students will need to work together across ethnographic research, sociology, anthropology, psychology, problem solving, design principles, and creative interpretations as research as it moves into concept and design development. Despite the differences, there will, I have no doubt, be a hidden affinity and a structural similarity between the approaches across the disciplines. Doing research demands being comfortable with ambiguity in the early stages of a project in order to reach a point of eventual clarity. It is this clarity that can enable a designer to focus on the right part of the problem at the right time and in the right way. So, what is the wider significance of this collaborative action? Well, my research will be of significance to design researchers, teachers, practitioners, and others involved in design education. I firmly believe that the role of design research needs to be clarified and developed, as it provides such a strong underpinning to design education. This action of investigating students' collaborative researching activity across disciplines will provide much insight and instruction on how we can evolve the process of researching and facilitate the exchange and development of best practice in the field of design research. As this final slide demonstrates, information design has been used for centuries, and often not by graphic designers, but by people who needed to visualize a problem in order to understand it. The visual you're looking at is by Florence Nightingale, and she employed one of the first uses of the pie chart in it. She created it in order to present her research findings to government to help make a case for her work in improving conditions for the army in the Far East. I do believe that this research action will also have significance for those engaged in information-rich research, our partners in the Social Studies Department particularly. I sincerely hope that the project successfully demonstrates the role of design in bringing valuable research findings and data to an appropriate audience in an accessible and stimulating manner. And I look forward to conducting the research. Thanks for listening. Bye.